Let's take a minute and thank our sponsors for helping grow this podcast to bigger and better every episode. Our first one is SR3 ResQ Concepts, because you don't know what you don't know. Our next one is Life Saving Systems Corporation. We do our work so you can do yours. Tough gear for tough jobs. Breeze Eastern, the world's only dedicated helicopter hoist and winch provider. And Flippin' Coffee, brewing real coffee with real ingredients for real coffee drinkers. SR3 ResQ Concepts is a training company that can help with your helicopter training, standardization, and safety checks. Or maybe just an annual FAA refresher is what you need. They're ready to help your agency keep up to date with current techniques, rules, regulations, and equipment. The training staff is amazing, with certified flight instructor pilots and experienced crew members that are offering training in rescue, medical, tactical, firefighting, and ground operations. SR3 has partnered with Petzl to assist with a personal protective equipment inspection course and the highly specific Lizard, which is used for helicopter cliff and mountain rescue. And to add into it, they also teach ground, tactical, emergency care. Contact them today at sr3rescueconcepts.com. Again, sr3rescueconcepts.com, or follow them on Instagram at sr3_rescue. That's sr3_rescue. Then we have Life Saving Systems Corporation. Manufactures the world's toughest helicopter rescue gear. From their Triton harness, which is my favorite harness being a rescueman, to the rescue basket, litters, and of course the most popular hoist hook in helicopters, yes, the D-Lock. The team at LSC cuts, bends, sews, welds, and machines these products into existence every day and sends them on their way to us. We do our work so that you can do yours. LSC, tough gear for tough jobs. Check them out at lifesavingsystems.com. That's lifesavingsystems.com. And follow them over on Instagram at ResQGear. That's at ResQ Gear. Next is Breeze Eastern. Since the very first helicopter rescue in November 1945, Breeze Eastern has designed and manufactured superior rescue hoist solutions. While much of the technology and unique mission requirements has changed over the past 75 years, their commitment to the rescuers, operators, and those rescued has not. Contact Breeze Eastern today by visiting them at breeze-eastern.com. That's breeze-eastern.com. And the last one is Flippin' Coffee. At Flippin' Coffee, we roast each batch to perfection to bring that smooth, delicious cup of coffee that you won't find in most other brands. We like to keep it simple, brewing real coffee using real ingredients for real coffee drinkers. Contact them today at flippincoffee.com. That's FLIPPIN coffee.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at Flippin' Coffee. That's at FLIPPIN coffee. As a bonus, Flippin' Coffee is given a promotion. If you punch in promotion code, all capitals, REALRESQ, you get 10% off. That's promo code Real ResQ, capitals, all capitals, REALRESQ, and you get 10%. If you're just going to send everybody an email, just make sure you tell them one thing. Quinny sent me here. And thank you to all of our sponsors. I had a super fun time with our next guest. It was awesome. This guy goes from mountains to hurricanes, fast rope, rappel, hoist, rescueman. Pretty awesome to listen to what these guys do. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Brad Corkins. My name is Jason Quinn. I am United States Coast Guard Rescue Swimmer number 500. These are my rescues and rescues from those of us that put our lives on the line every day so others may live. This is the Real ResQ Podcast. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real ResQ Podcast. I got a killer guest today. His name is Brad Corkins. What's up, Brad?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Dude, thank you for coming on to the Real ResQ podcast. How are you?
It's my pleasure. I'm good.
Yeah. So you and I met back a little while ago. Well, you were down in Tucson, Arizona. And man, we had some fun desert stories, and all you guys are walking around with guns, and I felt naked. Gosh.
It was good training. It was a good time. Yes.
So tell everybody just a little bit about yourself and then where you're from. And actually, I would love for you to tell them what you're doing now, because it's just hilarious, and I absolutely love it. So hit me. What do you got?
Okay. I'm Brad Corkins. I'm retired from Customs Border Protection, Office of Air and Marine, or Air and Marine Operations. It's what it's called now. I retired in 2017.
Congratulations.
October. And prior to that, I was Border Patrol and local law enforcement and with the Army. So I've since I was 18 years old, I've been serving the country doing law enforcement and rescue operation type activities.
And thank you for your service, sir.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. That's it? That's all you're going to give me?
That's just my background. Yes. I'm sorry, Jason. I'm not used to talking about myself.
You're such a good-looking guy, dude. You come on, let it roll.
I grew up here in Iowa, and after retiring, that was part of my retirement. Is family runs a Century Farm, and what Century Farm is, it's been in the same family for over 100 years. And my father's health was declining, and I was in the position to retire after 20 years. So I retired to come up to run the family farm and help him with whatever I needed with the cattle or crops. So I begrudgingly left something I really love doing is flying air rescue. And I came up here to help the family out when they needed me, and still doing it.
Coming back and to rescue the family. Look at you. So you actually haven't stopped.
Rescue never leaves your blood.
Never leaves your blood. Dude, you just stepped out of a badass helicopter flying the Black Hawk to, saving the farm. Dude, that's like a good movie. We need to call somebody and get that's a good old boy. Man, that could even be a country song. Come on there, Brad.
Yeah, I'm not much of a singer, so I'll leave the singing to you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm out. Oh, that's funny. So tell us, how did you get into search and rescue? Like, what drew you there, and how did that happen?
Well, I was with the Border Patrol, and I was assigned to Air and Marine Operations as an operations specialist. So I was arranging flights and assistance with Air and Marine Operations for the Border Patrol as a liaison. And I got flying's always been in my blood, and they gave me the opportunity to switch agencies over to Air and Marine Operations. And I jumped at it in a blink of an eye. After, at this time I was 49 years old, and I was going through another basic academy. You had a long list of basic academies throughout my career.
Nice.
49 years old, going to the Air Academy. Were
you the oldest guy in the class?
I was.
Oh yeah, that's a way to represent. Good job.
I had to keep up with young guys like you at the academy, and I tried my best and got through it.
Dude, that's awesome. Well done. 49 years old, you're going through this training to get you into the Air Marine unit for search and rescue.
That's correct.
Dude, that's awesome.
So the air rescue portion of Customs and Border Protection Air and Marine Operation was in its idea stage still when I switched over. They had hoist capabilities, but there was very few hoist rescues going on because we just didn't have the personnel that was qualified to run the equipment and do the rescues. Yep. So in their infinite wisdom, which is the best decision I saw management make when I was in federal government, was they contracted out to Priority 1 Air Rescue and trained us all up and got us qualified on all the equipment.
Yeah, awesome. Which was I agree with you. And I agree with you for two reasons. One, because I got to be a part of it. Whoop, whoop. Myself, Will Milam, Joe Martin, Rich
Yep.
Forbes. There was a bunch of us that went down there, and we had a blast. And
Well, it was great training, and it was a great time. Sure.
It was amazing. And for as many guys as we trained down there with you guys, everybody took to it. And next thing you know, you had the head honcho guys coming back with manuals written out for everything that we were training. It was watching everything that we were training put onto paper and into policy. And what a good job to the Customs and Border Protection boys for seeing the problem and creating and offering that fix and saying, yep, you know what, this is the way we need to go. And it was brilliant.
It just lit us on fire. Just the training and everything, it sparked everybody. We're all well trained. And so we started doing rescues, and it kind of flourished from there and made a great program out of it. A good idea of going priority 1 for our training.
Nice. And that's a little shout out to P1 right there too. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely P1. Give them all kinds of love.
Awesome. So now this is going to kind of bring us into really your first ever rescue. That's awesome.
Would have been, and that's another thing with what was good about air and marine operations is we had all the equipment, the aircraft and time to conduct proper training. So after we got done with priority 1, we trained, and that's it. You can't get enough training, especially live training, no simulators, just out there doing hoists.
Totally.
And from the time we got done with P1's training up until my first rescue, and I really can't remember the time frame. I think it was a couple months before I got my first rescue, which would have been January of 2017.
Okay.
And this rescue, it started out, my hoist partner was Dan June, great guy. He was with the Air Force HH-60 program and he brought a wealth of information and experience into the P1 training with us. So,
Agreed.
And he was happened to be my flight partner for hoists.
Yep.
So we got alerted 7:00 in the morning to a rescue that was being attempted in the Bobakivri Mountains, which is southwest of Tucson, maybe about 30 miles. And the elevation of Bobakivri Peak is about just under 8,000 elevation. And we had a alert that the Arizona Department of Public Safety, which I heard now has gone through the P1 training.
They have indeed.
As well. Well, prior to that, they had not, and they did not have hoist capabilities. So they did I believe they rappelled into a ledge off of Bobakivri Peak. It was a ledge, or the ridge was probably probably around 7,000 elevation, straight vertical, and it ran off of Bobakivri Peak. Well, Arizona DPS had rappelled into a ledge midway up, and the rescue specialist had to clamber down to the location of an injured male who had lit a signal fire, and the signal fire had spread.
Oh.
So, but when they went to extract him, they did not have the capabilities or the equipment to extract their rescue specialist.
Now, if I remember correctly, sorry, so when they rappelled him down, he had to actually climb down from the spot that he landed, and it was not like a 10-foot down. It was significant travel.
It was significant travel down the ridge to
like
the spot of the patient.
Almost another 50 feet or so, if not further.
That would be a good, it's been a few years, but that would be a good end to get to the patient, and they couldn't extract their officer.
Because if I remember correctly, they actually tried to get in there with their helicopter and long line, and they couldn't get down low enough because the blades would have hit the side of the cliff and stuff. And it was like, exactly. What are we gonna do? All right, keep going. I just want to make sure I got all the story right.
We were, I appreciate it. It's good memory refresher. So we were on standby, waiting if they needed any assistance with their rescue. Well, they informed us of the status of it. And so myself, Dan June, and our pilots, we flew up and did a hoist from above the ridge down to the spot.
Okay.
Where they inserted me into right at the spot where the trooper was and the injured male.
Now, and you guys were able to reach that. Do you remember how far that was?
That was 287 foot from the helicopter.
280 feet. That is, oh my God. Okay. That perspective here. I gotta look something up real quick because,
Okay.
all right. 280 feet. How high, how tall is the Statue of Liberty?
Well, the Statue of Liberty, I would have been above it. So we would, I believe the Statue of Liberty is under 280. So I was below the helicopter.
So you were hoisting at above, the helicopter sitting above the Statue of Liberty, basically, and you're hoisting down 280 feet. And there's only there's only 290 usable feet in the cable. Correct. On the drum. So you've only got 10 feet to spare. Dude, that's
if that. I believe the actual length from what Dan said was 287. So I had 3 feet to spare.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that is insane. Okay, so you've now maxed out the entire length of the cable to get down there. Now, paint the picture for me. You're on scene now. Okay. On the side of a cliff.
On scene, I hoist down right to the ledge he's at, which is covered with a lot of trees. It's a little outcropping, maybe 20 by 20 is the size of the ledge. And it's full of trees. It's a little like cubbyhole inside of the cliff face. And his signal fire had spread to all those trees. So...
Oh my gosh. So you guys are now surrounded by fire while you're on a cliff. Yes. Oh my God.
And, for the aspect of Dan is the hoist operator. Yep. And not only does he loses visual of me in the trees, but also the smoke.
Oh my God.
So they get me down there. All we're going off of is radio calls. Because they're still at maintaining their elevation after they retracted the cable. And I package up the patient and connect him, and I bring the hoist hook back down, and I get the trooper and the patient rigged up and ready to go. Was able to call in, send the hook back down through the trees and stuff. It took a little bit to get the right spot for Dan to hit me. Yeah. Got them hooked up, and you got the load. They retracted them, got them back in, got them safe. And then as I sat there and pondered how I should put out a fire, he radioed and said, hook's coming back down. And I waited for it to breach trees and hooked up, and they were able to extract me fairly easy.
Oh my God. What the heck? So now that's pretty awesome. The fact that you were able to actually put the other trooper and the victim together and send those guys together. And then you're just sitting down there and pretty much in harm's way. That's bro. That's
awesome. What we do though.
That is what we do. Man, killer. Dude, what a great first rescue, man. That's awesome.
And that was my first rescue too. So, and then it just goes on from there. So, where do you go after you do a rescue like that?
Well, for you go into hurricane season. I mean, come on, man. So oh my God, Brad, sorry. I gotta like, you're sitting around fire and looking around like, and it was
very surreal.
You're up on a cliff too. So I got to put that in perspective as well, because you were, how high up on this cliff were you? Because you were a ways up.
Yes. I think the ridge line peaked probably around 65. It was around 7,000 feet elevation. And that outcropping, or that ledge, was probably 2/3 of the way up, or a third of the way down from the peak. So it was still probably, I don't know, 5,500 feet down to the ground from it's still pretty good elevation.
Yeah. Holy cow. Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you. It was a good first rescue for sure.
Holy cow. All right. So now after that, you guys get back to the base, you debrief. Like, yeah, I mean, like I've said it before, I get back from a case like that and you're like, woo, that was pretty friggin' awesome.
Yeah. And then that also set our feet into the surrounding area, knowing that what our capabilities were. So word spread, what we completed on this rescue. So after that rescue, then we started getting a lot of calls for injured hikers up into Mount Lemmon area, and just regular civilian rescues, as well as our normal duties.
That's awesome, man. Good for you guys. Now, Mount Lemmon, for those that don't know, that's just outside of Tucson, and the elevation is up there. It's like 11,000 feet somewhere.
I think it's right. 10 to 11,000 feet is the Mount Lemmon peak.
Yeah.
Huge wilderness area, camping, a lot of hiking trails, things like that.
Yeah, and they have actually a ski area,
which
is funny to say when you're in like the southern part of the desert of Arizona, and they've got in the winter
gonna go snow skiing.
Yeah. Where are you going? Oh, right up the road. Oh, you're in a desert. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The snow. That's hilarious. So wow, that's awesome. So now I'm going to fast forward a little bit because again, you guys had sent some video and clips to myself and a couple of the other guys because you guys were deployed to Houston, Texas for Hurricane Harvey, correct?
Correct. August, September, I can't remember, is late August, early part of September of the same year. Management
that was pretty gnarly too.
DC. That was quite an experience, and we deployed 3 of our helicopters from Tucson to assist with rescues at Hurricane Harvey in Houston.
Awesome. So if you don't mind, can I get a couple of those? Or
that was nonstop. It was the most challenge. My pilots just are amazing. The weather we had to fly into, even to reach Houston, to get to the eye of the hurricane and conduct rescues, was challenging. So once we got down to Houston, and if the listeners know about Hurricane Harvey, why it made it so unique is that hurricane got to Houston and just sat there for 3 days.
Right.
It didn't move inland. It just sat there dumping all that water. Yep. And just that weather right on Houston for 3 days straight. So we'd fly in and out once we arrived down there, and we had very sparse accommodations, sleeping in hangars, and
standard.
You guys know, living on power bars and Mountain Dew and Well, we were lucky if we got MREs. That was an actual meal.
Oh, beautiful.
So the rescues were nonstop. I really don't even have a good guess on how many rooftop rescues we conducted in Harvey. You'd have to go to someone that's good with those numbers, because it was nonstop. There's a town right outside of Houston on the second or third day that we were deployed down there, called Port Arthur.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And Port Arthur had so many rescues going on at one time that you could look out the helicopter and there'd be 3 Coast Guard birds around you, DPS. There's so many rescues going on the same neighborhood. It became a challenge just to avoid other air traffic doing your rescues.
Wow.
You'd have a Coast Guard bird, a block away doing another rooftop rescue as you're doing yours. It was just an insane amount of work, which it actually went well. There's no incidents. And I really don't know how many. We were in the hundreds, just my crew alone, of rescues for Harvey.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds. Holy cow. Do any of those hundreds stand out to you?
There was
there it is. There it is. Here it comes.
There's a couple. One that actually stands out to me is family. It was right alongside a creek that was flooded. Their house, they were up in the attic, a little kind of it had a little porch on it with a door, but I can't consider it a second floor. But the whole family was up there, and I airlifted 5 family members out. And the father, he had I swear this Rottweiler was 200 pounds. And I came down to get him, and I said, sorry, I can't take the dog. We're at capacity now. And he says, well, I'm not leaving my dog. And you get to that point in a rescue, it's, well, I got a full crew. The weather's bad. You have to make a split-second decision. It's like, sorry, I can't take your dog. And he made some obscene gestures to me and actually sicked the dog on me. So I had to run back out of the roof and grab the hook and get the hell out of there.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I, as a dog lover, I understand, he wasn't going to leave his dog, but that was one of my hard decisions, was actually leaving a guy behind because he didn't want to leave his dog.
Wow.
So we had a lot of those, a lot of rapid water where we couldn't. There in Houston, the pines are very tall. They maybe 100-foot tall pine trees. So we couldn't get to some houses right around the lake there. So we had to find spots outside close to the house, and we would hoist down to, on this one, it was to a golf. It was a green on a golf course. And we hoisted down to it because it was outside the trees. And then we had to swim in to get the people and swim them back to our little sanctuary of that golfing green and hoist them off the green.
No way.
With floodwaters all around there. So we had to do some dramatic, right off the cuff type rescues that you just can't get down into something. So you had to adjust fire and figure something else out to get them people out. And we had to do a lot of that. And there's dozens of helicopters around the same area doing the same thing we were.
Yeah. All right. So you got another Houston, like another story about Harvey. Hit me.
Harvey, we were going back to the staging area with a full load of people, and we flew over this mall, north side of Houston, and we see a security guard waving his arms on the roof of this mall that was surrounded by water. So we made a decision. He's by himself. We can put one more person. We had a full cabin, so we conducted a hoist operation.
I can always fit one more.
We can get one more in here. And so I hoisted down to the roof of this mall, and I get the security guard, get him all bagged up, and we go up, and we had a runaway cable as I was coming up. All the equipment was waterlogged. We'd been in this was day 2. So all of our equipment is just soaked. That's what we attributed the runaway to, was just the equipment was just waterlogged and something. So we had a runaway, and it was
hoisting
going
emergency.
Up,
Come on.
Hoisting emergency. And we got up, and I had a hard hit. Head hit the framing of the hoist, and it smashed the cone and the spring. And I still have that cone and spring in a shadow box.
Yes. Dude.
So, but we were able to get the security guard off the roof and get them all to the staging area so they get evacuated.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh. So you were the rescueman on most of these, or were you the hoist operator?
Well, me and Dan, we would, because as you know, it gets a little taxing being RS.
Yeah,
you can get a little fatigued and when you're swimming and stuff. So we would change out, like during the hurricane, we'd 6 hours on, and then we'd switch out, and I'd become the hoist operator, and Dan would be the RS. So we'd switch out.
That is awesome, and that's something that like you don't see enough of. Like Coast Guard specifically, and I'll just use them right now. They have a flight mechanic, which is the hoist operator, and the mechanic for the helicopter. They have those roles, and then you have the rescue swimmer, and he's in charge of all the life support equipment, back at the base. So when you're flying, your flight mechanic is in charge of the hoist. Your rescue swimmer is a rescue swimmer. You don't have the switch roles. You guys at Customs and Borders, you guys were trained in both. So everybody was riding the hook. Everybody was hoisting. Even some of your pilots got hoist trained, which I was pretty impressed with. So that in itself is pretty awesome that you guys can just be like, hey, let's swap roles today and roll
well,
out.
it just makes sense, when you get fatigued and when you're doing rescues like this, you want to be as fresh as you can, because you don't know the amount of strength or energy you're going to need. So it just worked out with us doing that. It gave us more tools in the toolbox. When you got fatigued, and Hurricane Harvey was just out of the ordinary. I mean, there's so many fatigued, and we switched out between hoist operator and rescue specialist all the time.
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well done. You and everybody from Customs and Border. I mean, all you guys did an amazing job down there. I was able to see some of the videos and pictures you guys had. Solid work, solid all the way around. So good job.
Appreciate that. It all came down to our training and our dedication to each other.
Beautiful.
I can't give Priority One enough kudos. They trained us well, and we ran with it.
That's awesome. I know they appreciate it. I know I appreciated it being down there with you guys. It was what a fun class. I got nothing but mad respect for everybody down at Customs and Border with everything that you guys do, from law enforcement to the rescue to, the stuff that you guys are called out on. It's pretty awesome. So sweet. Well,
adding the hoist and the air rescue piece to it, we were just kind of like a Swiss Army knife. The government could use us in a emergency situation as law enforcement, rescue. So that hoist piece just made their Swiss Army knife bigger. Had more tools in it.
And I totally agree, because you guys are already fast open to boats and fast open to other places. I believe you rappelled as well. Is that an accurate statement? Or
yes, we were. Well, prior to us getting the hoist training completed, we were mainly just Hurst, helicopter rope suspension techniques, long lining, rappelling, fast roping, was our bread and butter.
Yeah. And I remember seeing pictures of that too. You guys rolling it. And for everybody that doesn't know, you guys fly out of basically two helicopters. You fly out of the A-Star and then the Blackhawk. And that was our baby when we came down to do all the training. It was all Blackhawk work. And I love that bird. I really do.
That's our airframe. The Hawk was good. Hawk was good.
Freaking beast of an aircraft all day long. But geez, oh man. And you guys had external fuel, or I'm sorry, you had extended internal fuel tanks that made your airtime a little longer. Like they set up those birds.
Yeah, we had got. Yes, they're set up. We can with that internal fuel auxiliary give us another 2 hours of flight.
Awesome. God, that's killer.
Along with the infrared, the nighttime camera capabilities and mapping. So it was all-purpose aircraft for sure.
Sick. Oh my God, I love it, Brad. That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to take too much away from this, but I do want to close out with a couple of things. And one is just the floor is yours.
Sure.
Whether you want to just talk training, safety equipment, tips, tricks, lessons learned, anything that you would pass on to the next generation, what would you tell them?
I guess the thing that I harp on all the time still, and I think about it, is the training that we received, and that we took that training and then kept training until we were perfect at what we did.
Nice.
So that would be is don't just take your training, whatever training you're going into. All aspects of training is just don't stop at the classroom. Keep continuing that training and doing it to real world or scenarios that you can become perfect at your trade.
Yeah, great advice.
So training's huge.
Great advice.
Training's huge.
Great advice. Freaking bad, man. You're a bad dude. I love it.
Not anymore.
Whatever. I appreciate it. Well, Brad, listen, I can't thank you enough for your time and your stories. It is awesome. If you think of any more, just give me a call. I'll get you back on here. We'll do this again.
Now we can do more.
I love it. Well, in that case,
it was my honor.
You have a great day and enjoy taking care of the farm, rescuing the farm. Okay. Cause your rescue days are not over yet. All right.
All right.
Oh man. And
thanks a lot, Jason.
Absolutely. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Real ResQ podcast. Please take a minute and, like my daughters like to tell me, like and subscribe. Oh yeah. I'm pulling chocks and taking off. But before I go, if anyone out there has a rescue story that they would be willing to share, I would be humbled and honored to have you as a guest. Or if you have any questions about any of the rescues or anything else that we talk about here on this podcast, send me an email, therealresq@gmail.com. That's TheRealResQ@gmail.com. You can also check us out on our Facebook and Instagram page at The Real ResQ. That's at TheRealResQ. I also want to give a special thank you to all of you staying on the watch today. Always remember that when that SAR alarm goes off, those in distress are praying for a miracle. They are going to get you. Until next time, fly safe and swim hard.